10 people in the house, 5 slaughtered. And the story's about the Republican governor. This is why you hate the media. Every survey shows you hate the media, and you have a good reason to. Check this out, ABC World News Tonight, on a recent event that took place in Texas. It's horrendous. Go.
Following this urgent manhunt tonight for the suspect who allegedly killed 5 of his neighbors in Cleveland, Texas, including a mother and her 9-year-old son, after that family asked their neighbor to stop firing his AR-15 style weapon because it was scaring their baby. The reward tonight now standing at $80,000, and new details here about the suspect tonight, including reports of multiple deportations in the past. ABC's Matt Rivers on the scene for us.
Tonight, hundreds of officers on the ground looking for this man, who authorities say shot and killed 5 neighbors after an argument, including a mother and her 9-year-old son.
We're asking everyone for your help so we can bring this suspect, or this monster, I will call him, to justice.
Suspect Francisco Oropesa is a Mexican national. A source familiar with the investigation telling ABC News that he was deported 4 separate times from the U.S. and served jail time for a DWI in 2012. The shooting unfolding late Friday night in Cleveland, north of Houston. Authorities say Oropesa was outside his house firing an AR-15 for fun. His next-door neighbor, Wilson Garcia, says he and others asked him to stop because it scared his baby. But instead of putting his weapon down, authorities say Oropesa stormed out of his yard, came here to the victim's house, barged his way inside, and began his killing spree. Garcia's wife, Sonia Argentina Guzman, and his stepson, Daniel Enrique Lasso, were both killed, along with Diana Velázquez Alvarado, Obdulia Molina Rivera, and Josue Jonathan Cázares. 5 others surviving. And tonight, Texas Governor Abbott forced to walk back initial comments that the 5 victims, all from Honduras, were in the country illegally. A spokesperson now saying, quote, at least one of the victims may have been in the United States legally, adding, we regret if the information was incorrect and detracted from the important goal of...
Okay, stop. You know, 5 people are murdered. And the guy that murdered them is an illegal alien. Whatever Abbott said about the victims is really irrelevant to the whole matter. If that illegal alien who murdered those 5 people, and he shot more than 5, there were 10 people in that house. If he had not been in the United States, they'd be alive. He should not have been in the United States. He was deported 4 times. I had heard he was deported 5 times. Regardless, he was in the United States illegally, and he murdered 5 people and wounded others. If he hadn't been here, the fact is they'd be alive. Same with all the other people who are murdered and raped, burgled, assaulted, on and on and on, but for the fact that they're here illegally. So my question is this. Do we have any idea who's here illegally? Is everybody a dreamer? Is this guy a dreamer too, given his age? I mean, are we ever going to have a discussion about why the border is wide open? What exactly is the principle behind this? No, I think I know why, but shouldn't the President of the United States have to articulate what the hell he's done to these communities, to these people? And the people coming across the border, many of them are indentured servants. Many of them are sold into sex slavery. Many of them have been raped or molested. You got hundreds of thousands of teenagers, according to the New York Times, who are working in horrible conditions into the early morning, can't even go to school. We do no reports on what's going on in our schools, how they're overwhelmed with people who can barely speak their own language literally. What's going on border hospitals? Some of them are closing. They're going broke. And at the same time, in our own economy, people can't afford food. They can't afford electricity and gasoline. We have supply shortages and issues related to baby formula and all kinds of food. And yet, millions of foreigners are being led into this country. They're being led into this country illegally, in violation of our laws by this president. And many of them are coming in illegally on their own secreting themselves into various communities. Where are these millions and millions of people? Every time I ask them, where are they? Where the hell are they? Nobody knows, and nobody seems to care, but they're there. There's a hell of a lot of them, and it's only going to get worse. When you have chain migration going on, when you have births taking place, people become American citizens, then you have chain migration, families coming in, the nation's going to be overwhelmed. And then what about assimilation? What about assimilation? We don't even promote assimilation anymore. You know why? Because our institutions, the teachers' unions, the Democrat Party, the politicians, they don't even believe in America. So what are these people going to be assimilated into? Critical race theory? Sexualizing little kids? What exactly are they going to be assimilated into? Hating America? So we don't even have that to fall back on anymore. The American culture is being degraded. It's being attacked by the very institutions and people who are supposed to be upholding it. You're supposed to be creating allegiance to America and patriotism for America, meaning the culture. But apparently not anymore. Go ahead.
David, many still asking, though, why the governor chose to bring up the immigration status of these victims in the first place, since authorities say it had nothing to do with their deaths.
Yes, but the murderer did have everything to do with it. And so now it's an attack on the governor. This is the way the news works. 10 people in the house, 5 slaughtered. And the story's about the Republican governor. This is why you hate the media. Every survey shows you hate the media, and you have a good reason to.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.